the route table from here. Just right now it's going to the NAT gateway, right? We have to actually remove it. Remove this one. Edit routes. Yeah. The routes actually, which is route private group, which is removed actually. Let me go to the route table and we go to route private group. We have route public group here and we have another route private group, so this is the one. So we have to remove this one actually. This is the main. We have to remove this so we can actually test whether we can access the S3 bucket from our private VPS or no. Now we remove this one and we shouldn't even have access to internet, which is not working great. So also let's try AWS S3 LS, and again it's not working. You see, we don't have access now. So we remove the NAT gateway, we don't have access to the internet, and so we cannot access the S3 bucket. So now we need to configure an endpoint. So we will go to endpoint here, this one, and I'm going to create a new endpoint. Here I'm going to name it my S3 gateway or something. Okay, the type I'm going to leave it AWS services as it is. Here I'm going to choose the service S3, then click enter, and we have to make sure that the region is actually same with our region, US East 1, and we have to choose a gateway. The interface has to be a gateway, not interface. So I'm going to choose this one. Okay, and I'm going to choose the VPS here, which is this one. This is our VPS. Yeah, this is our VPS, which is jcorp.com. And then it's going to ask us to choose the route table. So our route table is actually this one, route private dash jcorp. Okay, this is the private route get table. Leave this as full access. Now create an endpoint. So now we have an endpoint. Now if we try to do this one again, if we try to ping, we're not going to be able to access because we don't have access to the internet, right? But however, if we try to access the S3, we're going to access it. So because of the endpoint. So this is the benefit of the endpoint. So if you want to access the Amazon services without going through the internet, we can use it. Oh, and okay, now we're going to try VPC Peering. Since we have already tried this, we've created one VPC here. I'm going to create another VPC on another region, Ohio. Okay, and here we have one VPC, so this is the default VPC. So I'm going to create another VPC here. Not jcorp, let's make it ecorp or whatever. Ecorp, the VPC name, and the IP is going to be .20 .0.0/16 and I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to create a VPC. Okay, and next step is subnets. So I have to create two different subnets actually. Let me create a subnet for ecorp. I'm going to give it private ecorp subnet. The availability zone, you can choose a different one, and this is the CIDR block. And here I'm going to say 20.1 actually .0. Okay, I'm going to name it this way, and let's check our topology. Actually, we have yeah, so that's correct. So I'm going to call this one the public. Actually, keep this one public, and yeah, no, actually keep it private, because we need a private. We just need one private from this VPC and from the other VPC as well. So yeah, just keep it private. Keep this one private, and yeah, so create a subnet. Must be valid IPv4 CDR. Yeah, okay, because we have to put actually 24 here. So we just created a VPC subnet here. Now let's go ahead and create the route table. I'm going to choose the VPC that we created. I'm going to call it private route ecorp route. So I'm going to create route table here, and yeah, and I can associate it with the subnet here. We can associate it with the private subnet, save it here, and yeah, we don't need to add anything. We don't need the internet gateway, because no, actually we need an internet gate. No, we don't need an internet gateway, I think. So yeah, that's it. Actually, we just need to go ahead and go to instance, go to EC2 here, and let's go ahead and launch an instance. Launch without walkthrough, and I'm going to call it lim ecorp. Okay, I'm going to leave everything as default. The key also I'm going to use. Let me create a new pair of keys. Lim ecorp. Okay, I'm just going to put it ppk and delete this one. Choose the VPS that we created here, and we don't need to auto assign public IP, because this is a private IP, and here we don't need to do anything here actually. No, we have to add ping, which is ICMP. We have ping here. Oh, we don't know ICMP, yeah. So anywhere, so we can test. Basically, that's it. So you can just launch the instance. Okay, so now we have one instance here. This is in Ohio. So I'm going to go back to North Virginia. Okay. I'm going to create another VPS here. I'm going to go to VPC, and I'm going to create a separate VPC. I'm going to create VPC here. Here I'm going to call it VPC Fcorp VPC, and here it's going to be the same, a different IP. Let's keep it like 30 or something. 30 dot different network /16, and then we can go ahead and just click next. So I have just created the VPC here. I can go to the subnets. I'm going to create a subnet as well. I'm going to choose the F-Corp VPC. I'm going to call it here private F-Corp VPC. In the availability zone, you can choose different or same, it doesn't matter. Let's choose different availability zone. Leave this one here. Let's add the let's keep it, let's name it like 2.0. okay, /2024. Okay, now let's create the subnet. Let's create the subnet, yes. Now we can go to the route table and create a new route table. I'll call it routes VPC and F-Corp. I'm going to choose the VPC, which is F-Corp here, and I'm going to create the route table. So I'm just going to associate the edit subnet here to this private group. And actually we need to do one thing here, one more thing. We have to add a route here to our to this network, to the 10.20.0.0 network. We have to have a route for this, and the target is just going to be it's going to be peering connection, I think. Yeah, but I didn't create yet, so let me just create the peer first. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and before that we have to create an instance, EC2 instance here. Launch an instance, launch without a walkthrough. Yeah, I'm going to call it here lens F-Corp. I'm going to leave everything as it is, choose a key, which we will choose our key here, and we will choose availability zone, and but we have to choose the VPC that we created here, and disable this one, nothing. Here just add the security group, add the ICMP because we need actually ICMP. Just for now, just keep it anywhere. And go ahead and launch the instance. Okay, now actually I'm supposed to go to VPC here, North Virginia. And I'm going to go to peering connections here. I'm going to create a peering connection. I'm going to call it E-Corp to F-Corp. And select the VPS, which is here. And then yeah, it's on my account. You have to choose the where you want to where account you are, here or it's for in my case it's the same account. So here I can choose the region as well, and the region I'm going to use a separate region, which is Ohio, obviously. And then from there I just have to copy the VPC ID. Let's open this one on let me open Ohio on a new tab. Okay, and I can get the ID actually from Ohio, the VPC ID. We need the VPC ID. So we are going to choose the in Ohio, so let me go to VPC. Here the VPCs that I created for E-Corp. This is the VPC ID actually. Just copy this one. Why is it not copying? Anyways, we can get it from here. Copy the VPC ID, put it here, and then Next, create a peering account, peering connection. Yeah. So we have just set up our peering connection here, and yeah. So here we will receive the peering on the this is Ohio actually. We set up, when you refresh this one, okay, you receive this peer connection request from the Ohio. So if you go to peering connection here, we have E Corp, F Corp, saying the status pending acceptance. So I can just go to Ohio here and go to action. I can just accept the request from here. Are you sure you want to accept this VPC peering request from this to this VPC? So I'm just going to accept it here. Once I accept the request, I just need to make sure that we have a route set up and it's going to work. Just give it some time so it will provision the request. I'm going to pause the. So let's continue to our VPS. Let's refresh. It's active now, and we can also go here and refresh. We're going to need to create a routing for this. Here we should add a route on the private group here, which I think this is the one. No, F Corp. Actually, is this what the top route VPC F Corp? So here I'm supposed to add a route actually. I'm going to add it to 10.20.0.0 network /24 network. To go here, I need actually I think 16. To go here, I'm supposed to add a peering connection here. Choose this one. I think it's this one. This is correct actually. So I'm supposed to do the same thing on the VPS on the here. This one is F Corp here route. I'm supposed to add a route to go to 10.10.30.16. In order to go here, I need to go through the peer connection. I can choose here and save the changes. And now that we have done this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead I'm going to try it from my side actually. This is Ohio. Let's go to Virginia. It doesn't matter actually, you can try it from Ohio, but let's try from Virginia. Okay. Let me just type EC2 here. if everything goes as planned, I'm supposed to be able to actually access ping the Ohio instance. This is the one that we just created. I'm just going to open PuTTY here. PC2 user. I'm going to add this one. I'm going to add this one here. I'm going to paste it. No, actually we created a separate, I think. Let me, no, this should work, because, let me do it again. PuTTY here. Let me go ahead and just edit this one. This is the public IP. We're going to try to access it using the public IP. This is the private IP. Oh, okay, we don't have public IP. Yes, because this is actually a private network. So yeah, since both are actually inside private IP, I won't be able to access it from my PC. So in order to do that, I can just do one thing here. Like this Windows server that I created, I can just go ahead and let me check if I can. Let me create a Windows server. Let me create a new instance here. I'm just going to create a Windows server here. Server. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and choose the key. Just choose Windows Server 1 or something. We don't need to do this. We can choose here VPS or VPS here, and I'm going to have to create public. I'm going to have to create a subnet actually, which is this is the private one, so I have to create a new subnet. I'm going to choose the F core and I'm going to call it public, just so we can access our. I'm going to keep it the same 30, but I'm going to choose 3 or something. Yeah, and 24 for this one. So this is going to be public actually. I'm choosing availability zone, and this is it. So we just created the subnet. Now refresh this one. Yeah, we have the public here. We'll enable public access. Allow RDP also. And we're done here. So now we can access our Windows server actually from public IP address here. I'm going to go ahead and just remove this one, disconnect it. Let's go ahead and try to go to access this one, remote connection, and paste this one here. And we can actually go ahead and try to see this Windows server and try to get the Windows password. Let's give it some time. Yeah. I'm not sure if I use my own AMI, because if I use my own AMI, then I won't be able to. I don't have it actually. Okay, anyways, let me just go ahead and do that. Refresh instance here. Just give it some time. Refresh. Refresh. Let me pause this. Okay, let's continue. We're going to go to the subnet here. Here actually we're supposed to have an internet gateway because we are setting up internet gateway. So yeah, for fcorp. So for our Windows server, we set it up public so we can access it. I'm just going to go ahead and attach it to VPS, my VPS here. Yeah, I'm going to attach this one, the internet gateway with my VPS, and I'm going to go to the routes table and I'm going to choose the public fcorp, actually not jcorp, we have fcorp here, this one. So this, we have the private routes. We need to have a route for public actually. Yeah, right now we have only created a route for public. Let's create a route for private. Sorry, we'll create public route VPS. The VPS is going to be on here fcorp, and create a route table. It's going to be the fcorp and create a route table here. Yeah, so what I need to do here is actually edit route here. I'm going to add a route here so we can access the internet gateway, but we need to verify actually how did I make the instance if we didn't have a public subnet, which I already have. I think, 1 second. Yeah, I had it here. It's already here. We created an fcorp subnet. We call it public here, so I can just create a route table based on this one, public subnet here. Yeah, I can just call it here, and yeah, I can, yeah, which I chose already. That alright. I created a public fcorp here. This one, the associated subnet. I'm just going to choose this one, public association here, and the route. So now I should be able to access the internet. Now if you try to connect, you get a session. So that's great. Now let's go ahead to our MUT01. Okay, and let me open this one because it's not going to work. I'm also using VPN here. Yes. So what I need to do is get the public IP, which is this one, and go ahead here, remote desktop connection. I'm going to paste this one and try to access. And the password is going to be our password here. And I'm going to paste this one, click OK. The password should be, but it's not working. So the password must be wrong. Right, let me try it again. Okay, yes. So it's okay now. Let's click yes. Okay, I have. So this is going to be my Windows server instance. So what I need to do is actually check whether I have access to the internet or not. I'm just going to type CMD here. Yeah, so this is our public ping. So I created this just to test the. Yeah, I have access. So now let me go ahead and try to ping the VPS. Instead of ping, let me install the putty. First of all, copy this one, paste it here. Paste the putty installation folder, and also I will install the Linux key. Let me check what key I used exactly for the Linux. I'm not sure what I used. linfcorp. I'm not sure what key I used actually here. So no, get window password, right? Remove this one. Okay. Go to linfcorp. For some reason I can't do that. Maybe I can get the password, the key. I just need to know the key. What key did I use exactly? For this, I must have used some key. So I'm just going to assume that I've used this one and test it. That's much better way to check. Copy this one, paste the key, paste it here, and I'm just going to install putty. Click next. Okay, and let's just minimize all this stuff. We don't need it actually. Finish. Now let's go ahead and yeah, I think it's already installed, so let's just go ahead and type putty here, and I'm going to choose I'm going to check what's my IP actually in the private IP. What's my private IP for this one? Because we are trying to access fcorp, but we have to use the private IP because users at paste and auth credentials private here. Desktop. This is Linux EFS open, accept. Yeah, great. So now that I have access to my F-Corp instance, now I'm going to try to go to Ohio. Okay. I'm going to try to ping the eCorp, which is the instance eCorp, which is found in Ohio that we created earlier. We just go to instances here, and this is the eCorp. I'm going to take the private IP. Okay, let me try to ping. Ping, and I'm going to paste the IP here. Yeah, so remove this one and remove this one. Okay, let's try to ping now. See, it's pinging. So VPS peering was successful. As you can see, I can access this one from. I was able to access the VPS in another region from the VPS from my region. So this is the idea of VPS, to even make sure to confirm that we can do one thing. We can remove the VPS itself and test. It's not going to work. Let's keep it pinging here, and what I will do is I'm going to go to the VPS peering and remove the peer. We're going to go to VPS peering here. Wherever you want to go in Ohio or Virginia, doesn't matter. VPC. Let's just remove the peering here, peering connection. Delete this one. Delete peering connection, and the peering connection could not be because whether or not the routing table. Delete related route table also. So delete this peer. So let's delete it and see what will happen. Just wait for it. It's going to stop here. It's not supposed to ping actually now. Wait. Let me just refresh because it's still deleting. It's deleted now. It shouldn't work actually. I think it's not working, it's stuck actually. You can just stop this one and try to ping again, see what happens. You can't ping because there is no VPS peer connection. So that's enough. We understood the idea, the concept, and we implemented the lab. So just few things we need to go over before moving on. We have to cover some few concepts here. Yeah, we need to know the difference between VPN and direct connect and VPS peering and private link and VPN endpoints. Okay. So VPN is basically, we use it when we want to secure tunnel over internet. It uses IPsec encryption. It's fast to deploy but at low cost. Okay, use when you need quick hybrid connectivity. Backup for AWS Direct Connect. So Direct Connect is basically a dedicated private connection to Amazon Web Services. Direct Connect, the benefit is it has no internet involved. It has high bandwidth, low latency. Use when you need consistent performance and large data transfer. This is important. Direct Connect is used when you have large data transfer. Okay. And yeah, Yeah, and we need high bandwidth and low latency. It's like, think of it like private fiber link. Okay, VPS peering is connects to VPS directly. Traffic stays on AWS network, no gateway, no internet. So the benefit is limitation, no transitive routing. Like this A connected to B, connected to C, doesn't work. Can get messy at scale. VPS peering, the one that we just did right now, works only for up to two VPS. If you have more than two VPS, you need to use transitive gateway. Another technology, a simple VPS to VPS communication. We use VPS peering. Private link is connects to a specific service, not a whole VPS. Uses ENI, private IPs. Use when you want to expose a specific service privately. That's the idea of private link. Private access to one service. Same concept with the endpoint, VPS endpoint. VPS endpoint lets your VPS access AWS services without using the internet. So we did what we did before. We're able to access S3. That's the idea. Interface endpoint uses a private link. Interface internally. Creates ENI in your private. So private link, underlying technology. Interface endpoint, how we use it inside your VPS. So this is the idea. So we used the gateway endpoint, right, for VPS endpoint. But when we use private link, we have to use the interface endpoint. Okay. So the comparison is between the private link and endpoint. Both, they don't use the internet. Okay. The scope is both, they have the same scope. Both private link and endpoint service only. Cross account is allowed on both. Transitive routing you don't need for both. The setup complexity, endpoint is easy to set up, that's why we set it up. Private link we didn't set it up. So the idea is, you see here, private link is like a private door to a specific building. Okay. VPS endpoint is a private entrance to AWS services. That's the difference. So we want to expose a specific service securely, we use private link. We want to connect two VPSs, we use peering if there are few VPSs. Many VPSs usually. Transit gateway, not listed here. So hybrid on-prem AWS. We use start with VPN, then we scale to direct connect. So transit gateway is a central hub that connects multiple networks together, such as VPS and AWS on-prem. Without transit gateway, you use VPS peering. Okay, but peering has big problem, no transitive routing, so you can't have. So if you want to peer more than one, not like two VPSs, we have to use transit gateway. And yeah, for simple point-to-point, we use peering. For a lot of, we use transitive gateway. It has central hub, and all cities connects to the hub. That's the idea. So centralized control. So yeah. So highly valuable quick setup. VPN is quick and highly valuable. Consistent latency, high throughput, direct connect. We need this one. Many VPSs, scalable, hub and spoke. We use transit gateway. Secure privately, expose service privately. AWS private link. Access S3 privately. VPS endpoint. Simple VPS to VPS peering. This is the main thing that we need to know. Access to a custom service privately. See, there is a difference between private link and VPC endpoint. VPC endpoint, it gives you access to AWS services privately, but private link gives you access to custom services privately. Okay, like you can say your service could be SaaS or whatever. Hybrid connectivity, yeah. Encryption through another VPS transitive connection. Free option gateway. Okay. If it's on premises and you want to connect it to AWS, we use VPN or direct connect. Many VPS we want to use transit gateway endpoint, or yeah, this is the difference. See, if you want to access AWS services privately, you need to use endpoint, but if it is any other service, custom service, use private link. That's the difference, the service type between private link and endpoint. And not scalable, no transitive. Correct answer is transit gateway, scalable for multiple peering, not gateway versus instance and private subnet need this. We use endpoint. Direct connect secured. Okay. And hybrid with redundancy. Yeah, when we design hybrid with it, we should design with hybrid redundancy. Like the primary, we use direct connect. Backup, we use VPN. And for hub and spoke, avoid full mesh. Use private link for service isolation. No CIDR overlap issues. Work across account, more secure than peering. Proof no internet. Company has 10 VPCs that must communicate. We use transit gateway. EC2 in private subnet needs S3 access. We use endpoints, right? On premises needs stable high speed connection. We use direct connect and exposes internal API to another AWS account securely. Basically, we use private link. So 2 VPS needs simple communication. We use VPS peering. This is the concept that we need to understand, and that's it for today. Thank you for watching.